Hi, everyone, and welcome to Divine Resolution Tarot. This is your twin flame earth sign reading for the month of August 2020 for the year. Now, if you or your twin is an earth sign or has earth in your chart, this reading should be able to provide you with clarity about what's going on in your twin flame union. If you need to check any of your placements, there'll be a link down below to help you out with that. Now, as I was shuffling your oracle deck, we did have honesty and secrets coming out. So this is showing me this is kind of like the energy of what this relationship has been like. And I feel like this really does sum this up because it looks as though there's been more than two people involved in this relationship. There's been a lot of feelings that were hidden, people not expressing their emotions or their truth. There's been a lack of action, but I'm also seeing some manipulation coming through on the masculine's energy. So also, this is my masculine side and this is my feminine side. If you need to reverse roles, do so, because feminine and masculine are just terms I'm using to be able to separate the energy. But as you know, I'm sure feminine and masculine energy when it comes to twin flame is not gender specific. So as I was saying before, it looks like there's been a lot of issues around commitment. Now I'm looking at your past energy, and on my feminine side, for thoughts and feelings, we had the Six of Cups come out in the upright. So that's showing me that the feminine is very well aware of what this connection is, but there's also an energy of wondering what the masculine is holding on to, because the actions that she exhibited led to the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Now, this to me looks as though the masculine energy kept looking back at the past. There could have been some comparison between a karmic partner and the divine feminine in the past, because the combined energy is the Two of Pentacles in the reverse and choices. So this has been a situation where somebody was having a really hard time letting go of someone or making a decision, right? And with that being in the reverse, it's almost as though the feminine has stepped back because she's no longer willing to be just an option in her masculine's life. Now, the blockage between the two of you in the past was the King of Cups, and we got the Frenemy Oracle. And so it very well could be that the masculine is not only looking at the karmic partner as the possibility of still being a love interest, but really looking at what has been experienced in these past relationships that he's been in. And so there's an element of suspicion here coming through on his end, which made it to where he wasn't able to openly express how he felt. Now, that's also being clarified very strongly by this Page of Swords coming out in the reverse for his actions. So that's an element of being very suspicious, always being on guard. This is someone who has come through as being very hyper vigilant, rather cold, argumentative. And this really does kind of play to that secret energy. There's been a lot of hidden feelings, right, in this connection. Now the feminine oracle is coming through as wounded, and we have her saying, why can't you just love me? So again, that's showing me that, there's been too many people involved in this connection. Now, masculine is coming through with the love oracle, and his words are, I always come back to you. So again, this is that very hot and cold energy. Bottom of the deck, you have the Two of Swords as well as the Devil and the High Priestess in the reverse. So again, this speaks to secrets coming out, there being the possibility of having too many people in a relationship. And then finally, this is kind of the energy of silence or not making a decision. Now, I don't feel as though you're having a very easy time communicating with your masculine for you feminine viewers. This is the energy of feeling as though the masculine actually decided to shut you out completely or block you, because for whatever reason, what's coming through here is him feeling as though every time he comes back, he should be able to start fresh, like nothing has happened. And it's a lot of false starts here, right? So when you're not willing to commit to something for you feminine that never seems to go anywhere, and you really are asking, like, where is this going? What are you doing with this other person? That's the energy of them getting triggered and shutting you out because they're not willing to be 100% transparent with you about what their plan is, right? Now, energy at present, we have gifts for your oracle for you feminine viewers, and we have why do you shut me out? So again, that's the energy of feeling as though you're being blocked or ignored, right? We have lots of cards here that talk about someone ignoring someone else for your thoughts and feelings for you feminine. We have the Queen of Swords coming out in the reverse. So this is the energy of you feeling very upset about the situation. This is having a hard time trying to figure out how you would move a situation forward. This is almost like because the masculine shut you out, maybe not to the extent of completely blocking you, you went above and beyond and made sure to cut him out of your life in a way that was like, okay, if you're going to ignore me, I'm going to show you what it feels like to be ignored. Now we're really done, right? Now, what you're bringing to the table as far as your actions is the moon in the reverse. So this is you being 100% transparent about where you are in your life and what you want. I think that for some of you feminine, you may have been trying to hold back because if your masculine was always comparing you to someone else, you may have been trying to show them how you are different or that you were forgiving or loving. To me, this is very much the energy of being like, you know what, it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter what I say. I'm ready to take the gloves off and stop handling you like you're so fragile, right? You are not bringing your A game, so why should I? And this is really you kind of taking that barrier, whatever that's been holding you back from really kind of letting this person have it. It's almost like now the feminine is getting quite upset, right? Now we do have the Gifts Oracle card, so I'm going to pull a clarifying card for that, the Hermit. So to me, for you feminine viewers, this is you at present giving everything that you were giving to this situation. Now you're giving that to yourself. You're not in a space of being willing to keep extending offers to someone so freely that you've seen is really not willing to put their best foot forward. That's exactly it with that Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. This is quite literally you pulling back from this connection. And I think that initially the masculine was just very hot and cold, but you've definitely put an end to this indecisive energy by removing yourself from the situation. Now, at present, masculine is coming in with the 5 of Pentacles reversed, 10 of Pentacles reversed, courtship, and the Oracle card that says, your love has changed me. So what they're bringing to the table, they're still holding on to this connection, right? Because that's pretty clear. If they were with someone else, it's looking as though that's a separation that's happening, or they've made the decision to move on from whatever energy this was that kept them from being able to 100% give to the twin flame connection. They may be moving out of a karmic partner's home or relocating. Tell me more about this. You know, we have the courtship card here, and then with the feminine and gifts, this very well could possibly be that your masculine hasn't told you that they're saving up to make a large purchase. Now, this would be something that will try to get your attention, or they'll try to give it to you in a way that it's almost like either they're coming through with a gift for you or an offer, or they're trying to make themselves look better now than they have in the past to show you that they are different, right? Because they know that they can't keep coming back after they've yo-yoed so many times. It's almost like nothing has changed every time you've allowed them back into your space. So they know they need to bring something that you haven't seen before. Part of that also includes them offering you something that shows you that they really are considering working something out only with you and not including all these other people in their life. Could be that family was also influencing decisions, but I feel like this has a lot more to do with a past relationship. Now, the issue here, though, is how do they go about doing that when all they've shown you feminine is something that you don't want, right? They're still indecisive about how to be able to come towards you at present. I think that with this courtship card, they've been trying to date other people after the ending with you. I don't see them dealing with their karmic partner at this time. I feel like they've tried to go meet new people, but they're having a really hard time getting over the connection that they felt with you, for you feminine viewers, and they're not finding anyone that compares to you, right? It's like they go out, but nobody makes them feel the same as they did with you. Nobody, I think for the twins I'm reading for in this reading, the Earth sign reading, the two of you probably have a lot in common, or you have a lot of shared interests, or there's something here about having a really good time when you're together. Maybe you laugh a lot. And I feel like when it comes to them trying to meet other people, they don't enjoy people's company. Your person is coming through for the masculine energy as somebody who they don't fall for people easily. They don't really like people, is kind of what this looks like. And so they're trying to, it's almost like they're trying to figure out, do they need to change to have people in their life? Or can they go back to you and show you that they've changed to be more like the person you want them to be? Because they're starting to see that no matter what they brought to the table, you always really did accept them for who they were. Whereas now going out and trying to meet other people, they're finding that that just is not the case, right? So they're feeling as though they need to come forward and have a discussion with you, but they know for you feminine that you're very upset. And that's what's coming through here, is that they think that you don't want to reopen that old wound and give this another opportunity. Now, shared energy at present, we do have the Justice card with Smothered coming out in the reverse. King of Wands in the reverse. So some of you earth signs could be dealing with a fire sign. That's a strong possibility. Or this could be somebody that you've worked with in the past or met at work. I'm just looking here because nobody is taking action. It's almost like the separation at current is happening for two reasons. Now, for the masculine energy, this is happening so that he can start working on himself individually and seeing that no matter what he brought to the table, no matter what flaws he had, his feminine still loved him unconditionally. And I feel like that's something that's very hard for the masculine energy to wrap their head around. They're doing a lot of comparing and contrasting about what the feminine gave, also what the karmic gave, what the different expectations were. So masculine is getting into a space where they're actually pulling back. And maybe in the beginning of this separation, it seemed like they were a little bit more out in the world or trying to meet people. Now they're doing some work behind closed doors. And so that was what the purpose of this separation was, because that's actually kind of divine intervention. They had to realize that there isn't anyone out there that they want other than the feminine, but it's also coming to the realization that what the feminine was asking for is not such a level of being overly critical or demanding. This is really just more asking for mutual respect, or why are you not giving to me what I'm giving to you, right? Now, for our feminine, this was actually happening. This separation has happened so that you would stop paying attention to this connection at this time. There's something that it seems like you may have put on the back burner when you were dealing with your masculine, that spirit is asking you to go back and take a look at. There's something that energetically, it's like you didn't have the energy to focus on this connection as well as possibly your life purpose. And so that's part of why this separation has happened, because it's time for you feminine to move forward, but in a different capacity. It's not necessarily about replacing your masculine. This is actually talking about yourself and where you derive your happiness from. Because for some of you feminine that I'm reading for, it seems as though a lot of your personal happiness was based on this connection. And so this is spirit asking you to really look at what's going on behind the scenes in regards to your own life, right? And I feel like with this moon energy for your actions at current, that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to heal, and you're really kind of taking off the blindfold and being like, why do I find myself in these types of relationships, or why do I repeat these same cycles with my twin? That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing at this time, right? So both of you working individually, but on different things is basically what this is. Now, the blockage to this Justice card, which is the union and you both being able to come back to one another, is the Knight of Wands in the reverse, and we have ego in the reverse. So this is quite clear that ego is affecting this situation, right? Also, there's a lack of action in regards to repairing the situation. There's not enough communication or openness as far as being able to really let your guard down with this person. I feel like you're both triggering one another, but in different ways, right? And so you feel the need to raise your guard. Now, when the Knight of Wands comes out in the reverse, this talks a lot about trying to control a situation. But the way that the control has been happening, it had to come to an end. And that's why you're both in a period of separation right now. So for either of you that are viewing this reading, this talks about controlling in a negative capacity, but it also talks about something that's really lacking direction. So I feel like for you feminine, because this relationship was lacking direction, that is the blockage to union, right? And you taking action, because why would you take action if someone is consistently showing you that you may not be their first choice? Now, for you masculine, it seems as though this Knight of Wands represents you trying to control the situation by being very hot and cold, and not really stepping forward and letting your guard down and letting your partner in. I'm going to pull you some advice for how to deal with this situation. And then I'm going to take it over to the extended reading. In the extended, I will pull some cards for the future energy to get an idea of thoughts, feelings, and actions for both the feminine and masculine energy. I'm also going to take a look at the advice for the situation, as well as like how to deal with the blockage of coming into union with your twin. We'll take a look at why the advice is being given, and then what will happen if you follow that advice versus if you do not. So 2 cards for my feminine, 2 cards for my masculine. I don't know that I pulled 2 for each energy in the other readings, but that's just what I'm doing now. So sorry if you've watched the other ones and that didn't happen. Now, the first card is for you feminine viewers, how you can deal with what you're going through at present. We have reflect. Keep your eyes open. Joy lives in small places. Now, to me, feminine, this is very much this woman kind of being alone and thinking about all of the things that possibly didn't work. She's looking more at the past than at the future. And I think that's a big part of why this relationship is kind of stagnant right now, because neither one of you are able to move forward in a capacity of really focusing on the future with a plan. But for you, feminine, this is asking you to find happiness in your life, regardless of what your masculine is doing. And I feel like that really is the lesson for the feminine at this time. Now, how to deal with your masculine, we have silence. Rest your mind. Silence is good self-care. So for you feminine energy that's watching, this is talking about you not feeling the need or the urge to go after this person. This is about giving them the time and the space they need to figure out themselves, because unfortunately with the cards that are coming through, that past energy that you dealt with, it kind of seems like a lot of the issues were coming from someone who was being secretive or manipulative or leaving out the entire truth and giving you half truths, right? And there's not really much that you can do about someone else's behavior, but to distance yourself until they get whatever this is worked out, right? Now, for you masculine viewers, how to deal with yourself at this time, we have achievement. So this card really talks about change and transformation, because we have all these different aspects, whether it's a sunrise or a butterfly or leaves or flowers, like everything grows, and really changes and progresses, right? It says, chase your dreams. You may be surprised by where they lead you. Now, I see that you, for you masculine, have had a hard time taking action because you've been so suspicious. Maybe you were not trusting your heart. Maybe you're looking at the past and you're feeling as though when things didn't work out with a different person that they couldn't possibly work out in this connection. This is asking you to get very clear on what you want and to start going after that, right? Because if this person has come into your life and changed you as a whole, there's no reason why this relationship couldn't work, right? Now, how you can deal with your feminine, we have risk. take a risk. You have the power within to move mountains. So it looks as though Spirit is saying that it's the masculine's job at this point to try to reach out. It looks very well like they may. So we're going to take this over to the extended to see what that will look like. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, and I will speak to all of you again soon. But in the meantime, you take care of yourselves. Bye. So here's the thing. For you masculine, if you don't figure out how to be more emotionally available to your feminine, you're going to completely lose her attention. No matter what you bring to the table, no matter how many times you try to reconcile or how great you make yourself look, she's going to start looking for validation elsewhere, right? We have I think of you often for the masculine, and that's not enough, right? That's kind of you coming in with those half-baked words where it's like, yeah, I kind of missed you. But Ace of Swords in the reverse talks about that being a lie. And it's a lie that's going to lead to another painful ending, because this is kind of a half-assed, like, yeah, you're all right. You're okay, right? It's time to really start communicating your truths if you want this to work, right? And that's why we're taking a look at why are you being so emotionally unavailable.